Ed Nicholson, end of second path, end of second path, Ed Nicholson. I find myself at the end of my second path in pathways. So, what's in it for you and me? Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. At this stage, Toastmasters, or actually Pathways, part of Toastmasters, wants me to be a club coach, a sponsor, a mentor, and a district officer, which includes a lot of the executive in the district, as achieving a second DTM as the reward for that. Unfortunately, this doesn't really interest me very much. Nor does competing at district level for district roles. I've seen people doing that, and at this stage, it doesn't interest me very much. Now, one of the challenges, like club coach, sponsor, mentor, this is helping other clubs to either make new clubs in the first place, which is more competition for the few members we've got, or to help other clubs with their membership issues. All good things, but it seems ridiculous considering that that effort would be better spent on our own club. So I'm not really interested in doing much of that. Now, I would like to be more positive at this stage, but there have been too many issues resulting in a lack of membership in our club. Perhaps my feelings would be different if I wasn't comparing my past Toastmasters experience with what I've been experiencing recently with the new pathways. Yes, my old Toastmasters had some ups and downs and some very big challenges. No doubt about that. I've mentioned some of these ups and downs in my previous speeches, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with that right now. And before Pathways came out, yes, I was definitely looking forward to some modernization of the Toastmaster thing. For example, there was very little computer use or access to material the way the old Toastmasters were set up. Because the original stuff well predated the ease of access we now have to computers and computer-related communications. And I've been a DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, for quite a while now. So I'm quite familiar with the way Toastmasters works. And I do have, I think, fairly good public speaking and leadership skills. With that background, and having looked at Pathways through two paths now, I see Pathways as a poor substitute for what should have replaced the Toastmaster system that I basically became a DTM in. Now, at this stage, purpose of the speech is to, well, one of the main purposes of the speech is to speak of my accomplishments in Toastmasters during that last path. Okay, I've been the club president, and we have maintained club meetings for most of the weeks during that last year, with a few exceptions, like for days when the weather was too bad. And we have held, I think, some very interesting meetings. We have got some guests to the meetings, and we've even got some new members and retained some older members. And more recently, we have transitioned, because of the COVID-19 thing, from in-person meetings to telemeetings. So what now? I still like to meet with my Toastmaster friends and practice my public speaking and leadership skills. I have acquired those skills over many years. So we'll likely continue with Toastmasters for a while. Zoom, Skype, and the like are needed now to achieve our meetings. Again, because the Skype prevent us from doing face-to-face meetings. I don't really like to travel much when it comes to meetings now at this time. I was the area governor for 3 years. And during that time, I traveled quite a bit up and down the Ottawa Valley, Upper Ottawa Valley, from Arnprior to Deep River. And I also, at that time, and for a while afterwards, belonged to an advanced Toastmaster club, Valley Vintage Advanced Toastmaster Club. And there I had to travel quite a bit to get to the meetings too, despite the fact that he was supposed to be a club that went up and down the valley. Due to, well, the people who did bother to come out to the meetings, it became obvious that it was really an Ottawa club. So eventually they gave up pretending to be an Upper Ottawa Valley club and joined the Ottawa group. So it's really like 2 hours away. It's just impossible to do that sort of traveling. Not for a meeting for an hour and a half to spend like 4 hours traveling to get there and back. No. Again, I like Toastmasters, but I'm at the point where I'm sort of just like a lot of travel involved. In fact, when I retired from CNL and had to join a non-corporate club, an evening club, I had a choice between Deep River and Pembroke. Well, Deep River was a significantly further draw compared to Pembroke. And although I had been a member in each of those clubs before, I decided to join the Pembroke club because there was less travel involved. Speaking of which, I was a member of the Chalk River Club for many, many years because there was no travel at all involved. So what am I going to be doing now that I'm retired? I'd like to practice my Toastmaster skills, meet with friends I have. I expect I will be continuing to do that. And now that I'm retired, I may see what I could use those Toastmaster skills for, such as teaching. I have enjoyed teaching in the past. I'm not talking about primary school, but older, young adults and older adults. I'd be interested in teaching something like that, since I do like to teach. Now, in conclusion, I'm disappointed in Pathways in that it has missed the opportunity I think that was there for it to be a much better product than what we actually got delivered. What was delivered struck me as something made by people who are not Toastmasters, who did not understand Toastmasters, were probably the lowest bidder and were told to do it in a hurry. No, hopefully it will evolve into something more useful. My feeling for it right now is that it is a long way from being what we really need to replace the original Toastmasters, which I do admit needed to be updated to the modern age. Again, we need to update it, but we also need to make it so that it's more suitable than the current Pathways. Because the current Pathways, I think, has turned off a lot of old members and is not turning on guests so that they can become new members. My experience is a lot of the things that we do in Toastmasters as enhancements through the practice of learning public speaking and leadership, such as the contest, for example, are doing poorly largely because of the failings of pathways. Mr. Toastmaster.